Nieves is a former NYPD detective and says do not.
Everybody's looking for the monkey.
Yeah. So you
our smiles to give you a little bit of a brief.
Hello there.
Hey, Angel. I'm smiling because we have an audience and we want to welcome everybody to another episode, another show of Your Pet Detective. I'm Adina Sood along with that guy over there, Angel Nieves, El Jefe, who is the boss of Your Pet Detective. Angel started many years ago. He's a retired NYPD detective, and he has dedicated all of his efforts now to pets, finding lost pets, stories about lost pets, giving people advice about lost pets. And tonight, we're doing a show, unfortunately, not on lost pets, but on pets that have been killed. Yes, this is a...
Killed and tortured.
Killed
Well,
and
possibly tortured.
This is kind of a, I want to say it's a mind-boggling situation. And it's not mind-boggling because we've seen this before. We've seen this in Yonkers. We've seen this in other parts of the country. We've seen this all over the world. But this is happening in our own backyard in New York City. This is happening in Queens. And where a number of cats, I think 14 in total, have been found, who've been found dying. A couple of them had to be euthanized. Their paws were maimed by an unknown chemical at this point.
It's two different incidents, though.
Two different incidents.
Exactly. Almost in Howard Beach, they're all dead.
Right. The ones that there were, and we'll get the details later on in the show about the numbers of cats.
But thanks to Puppy Kitty, NYC, by Meagan. Here she is right here.
Okay,
she's the one that cracked this case wide open.
Yeah, Meagan is the one who apparently either discovered or was called in on this case. Meagan is a private citizen, but she's also a pet rescuer. And Meagan was the one who really has been involved, and she is our guest tonight, and she's going to give us a lot more details about what's happened to these cats and where we stand now in the investigation.
Let me throw a short video for an intro for people to have an idea what's going on.
NYPD's Animal Cruelty Squad is investigating two separate cases involving cats in Queens. 5 stray cats were found injured in Richmond Hill. They were taken to local shelters to recover. And in Howard Beach, more than a dozen dead cats were found over the weekend.
One of the most tragic and heartbreaking things I've ever had to look at. Like, I had to take breaks and go back into my car and go back. It was just horrible. I think that the common factor here is that animals are getting abused every day in this city, and that's what's so concerning.
Licari says anyone having a problem with their cat should contact her group, Puppy Kitty NYC, and they'll try to get you in contact with the people who specialize in any type of situation.
And I think we should mention that cat that you saw in the video has been euthanized.
Yeah.
I mean, that little precious being is euthanized. So Meagan, fill us in. What's going on?
So there's 2 situations that I've been involved with. One in Richmond Hill involving 5 injured cats, 3 of which had the exact same injuries, which is why I was concerned. I find cats that are injured every single day, but to have the exact same injury is what was really suspicious. All of their paws and paw pads were basically burnt off to the bone. The first one, when we got the first one, we weren't super concerned. We've seen, degloved paws, some injuries like that. But when we got the second and third, that's when we really started to, alarms started going off in our head and realized this is a common pattern. They're all getting injured the same way, likely intentionally, right? I took 3, Claire, Juliet, and Ruby. And unfortunately, Ruby, all 4 of her paws were affected and she had to be euthanized. The doctor said the only way for her to survive was that she needed all 4 limbs amputated, which for a 4-legged animal is just no quality of life. Claire and Juliet are doing very well, healing. Juliet is, coming around to humans a little bit more than Claire. Claire is still extremely, extremely traumatized. Then the second situation, just a few days later, a friend of a friend, all us rescue people, we're all super close and all try to work together and have each other's backs. A friend of a friend reached out and was like, "Hey, Megan, is there any way you can help? My friend found like a lot of dead cats, maybe 10 in Howard Beach." And I was like, "Oh my God, like, how is this possible? I have to go see this with my own eyes." So I went, I brought my friend. I think we counted 15, called the cops, called 911. Originally they really didn't know what to do. They didn't even really want to take a report. And then, we realized we had to escalate it up the chain a little bit to get the appropriate people involved. And once I got the right guy on the phone, things started to happen. They gave me permission to remove one of the bodies that were accessible to me. So I took that kitten down. It was kind of stuck like on the fencing and the brush, which led me to believe that they were actually being thrown over. So I removed that body, and I brought it to a local Queens vet, which is a partner with the ASPCA. And then the next morning, the NYPD was there and the ASPCA, and they removed 14 bodies. And they're all at the ASPCA awaiting necropsy or undergoing them. I'm not exactly sure. I just know that no results have come back yet because, they promised me that they would follow up, and I believe that they will. And he was so responsive. And from the moment I talked to him, he told me all the steps, said, "I'm going to be there in the morning." He was there in the morning. He called me in the afternoon, told me how many bodies he found, did everything he said he was going to do. So I'm really pleased with the response, and I think that they're going to do everything that they can, but they have a difficult job ahead of them.
Now, this is two different incidents, two different locations.
Yeah.
How far is Richmond Hill to Howard Beach?
Depending on traffic and the time of the day, it could be pretty far. I don't have any reason to believe that they're related.
Right.
To be honest, I don't think it is. I think the common factor is that abuse is happening every single day, and that these are just a handful of the situations that we're hearing about.
I tend to disagree a little bit because I think that the driving time from Richmond Hill to Howard Beach is you could do it in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not that far. We're not talking about if you were saying it was the distance from White Plains to Staten Island, then there wouldn't be a link. But remember that Richmond Hill and Howard Beach share a common expressway link. So somebody jumping on that expressway could travel with, I would say, a maximum of 20 minutes, which is not that far.
Yeah, it's just this block is kind of off the beaten path. Like, you kind of would have to be from the neighborhood to know it. It's a one-way street. It doesn't really get you anywhere. I don't know.
But then again, it could be, well, when you start looking at the list of, not a list, but when you start looking at a composite of a suspect or suspects, the fact that it's an isolated street, it means that somebody has to be familiar with that particular area of Howard Beach. Otherwise, well, I don't think they would just pick that spot at random.
Right.
So what's the link between that area and the area where the cats were found in Richmond Hill?
Right.
Is that also an isolated area?
No, the other area is super residential, like blocks and blocks and blocks of residences. This was a residential street, one way, backing up to the A train with double fencing, barbed wire. and no people, and it goes up to the A train.
What was the nearest street, if you could disclose that? What was what block was that?
I mean, the block is 102nd Street. I don't know the cross streets. I know the address memorized, but I don't know the cross streets off the top of my head.
But you're talking about Howard Beach, or you're talking about
Howard Beach. It's funny. Howard Beach was 102nd Street. Richmond Hill was 102nd Avenue.
Well,
I'm gonna play the number tonight. But but the thing is this, I really think it's two different incidents. I really think it's two different patterns.
I don't.
I mean, the ones you saw in Howard Beach, were there any puncture wounds? Were they just, you know what I mean?
I didn't have any access to the bodies except one.
Right.
I couldn't reach any of the bodies. I couldn't really get a close look at any of them. And the body that I did remove, I mean, it was a tiny baby, and I couldn't feel any puncture wounds, but I really don't know. And I think that's what we really need to wait on is the information from the necropsies. And
the little baby talk about, it cannot survive on its own, though. It cannot eat on its own.
There's no way that this little baby climbed up to where it was.
I mean,
and it was probably like 8 weeks old, like still probably nursing, easily grabbable by a human, right?
I'm sorry. Again, what was the street? I know you gave us the street in Howard Beach, but what was the street again in Richmond Hill?
102nd Avenue.
Okay, was that near the Van Wyck?
It's very close to the precinct.
It's very close to the precinct. Okay.
Yeah, like 5 minutes away from the precinct.
What's the name of the precinct?
The 102nd precinct.
Another 102.
Yeah.
102.
Yeah.
102.
Well,
how many police have been assigned to this?
So for the Richmond Hill incident, I've only spoken to one detective, and I haven't received an update in the last couple days. For the Howard Beach incident, I believe that they're taking the Howard Beach incident more as animal cruelty than the Richmond Hill. I'd have to follow up with him in the 102nd precinct to find out exactly if it's been escalated to the animal abuse squad. I don't know. But I know that in Howard Beach, the animal abuse squad is on the Howard Beach case. I don't know how they do it. I know in a lot of precincts you have, like, if you have a homicide, the homicide detectives come. I don't know if animal abuse partners up from someone from the squad. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure how many detectives are assigned.
Is there? I know you said that the one in Richmond Hill was in a residential area. Did anybody try and pull surveillance, ring cam, anything like that?
The detective told me he was canvassing the area. I don't know if he, I didn't question him on his investigation.
To your knowledge, have there been previous instances such as these in those locales?
I mean, I know there's animal abuse going on places. Since this has happened, a lot of people have reached out to me and been like, hey, this happened to me a year ago. This happened to me then. It's actually been super overwhelming. And I think everyone thinks, like, because this is getting media attention, because, like, I have been talking to the police, that I can, retrospectively start all these, active investigations. But it's actually super upsetting and concerning how many people have reached out saying, hey, I had this case that this happened and I couldn't get the police involved, or I couldn't get anyone to take it seriously. So yeah, things have happened. I just talked to a lady today. She doesn't even know about any of this. And she told me that her next door neighbors killed a litter of kittens. Like, it's happening.
Okay. Now you see, that's
But she doesn't have proof, right? So
I understand it doesn't have proof, but that's my category.
Yeah.
And that kind of incident, for example, is called a lead.
Yeah.
And the lead is when you carry on and you go around the area and do the person they're talking about, I would do a background check.
Yeah.
a heavy background check. And I do is I will go to the area and also check to see any domestic violence, because that also hand in hand with domestic violence and animals, and do all that kind of check in surrounding areas and talking to people, not about the individual, but of anything, like any person particular, any person off the wall, like is off his meds or whatever. And if they keep on started pointing him, or her, then somehow you probably bring the person in for a talk, because you can't arrest them, or talk to them at the area, and then keep working. In other words, you have a possible alleged suspect. So that part that you told me right there, my head went ding, 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 because that's a lead.
Right. I mean, this is just a random lady that I was helping today. It's not related again to the people, but
that's why cops do canvases.
yeah.
And not only once, they do recanvass. And if the coast is cold, 3 or 4 years later, they do another recanvass, because somebody will open up.
Right.
Okay, and that's how they do with homicides.
Yeah.
So I mean, as soon as you said that, it hit me around the spot. It is something that which I know you did, probably go to the detectives and said, "This is what I got," and we can't prove that. That's your detective. You detect, So that's a lead, and you write it down. Okay, Westbury. Okay, I'm gonna talk to that lady again. Who you're talking about? Okay, and then do a background check. They don't just go straight to that person, because you're going blind.
Right.
So that's good. That's a good lead.
Yeah.
But there's no lead at the Richmond Hill, though, right?
No. I mean, there's no leads at Richmond Hill that I'm aware of. At Howard Beach, a few neighbors did mention a neighbor that they all hate everybody, that he shoots BB guns at pigeons and squirrels and stuff like that. So I did mention that to the police. I'm not privy to what exactly they're doing.
Well, they're not going to tell you, because it's an ongoing investigation.
Right.
And I would do the same thing. But there's something that it's more work. There's more leads on Howard Beach, but over here there's no leads. We were talking about it earlier. This Adam, I was gonna say this person, it's like a quiet solo guy, a kind of person that doesn't connect with people. Some kind of person that is, probably doesn't want to get close to somebody. You know what I mean? It's somebody like that type, and actually takes his anger on the voiceless. And like always, the voices is the animals.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of a theory to go by to find out, who this person could be, and that kind of characteristics.
Yeah.
So it's like a profile. So that's exactly what has to be done there.
Yeah.
Has a reward been offered yet?
Yeah, we have people who have offered a reward in the Richmond Hill case. Yeah.
But I was not aware of it. I don't know if Angel was aware of it, but how is that being advertised? In other words, do you have signs up?
We have signs up, we have flyers up. I posted it on social media a little bit. But it's not through the NYPD. It was just through us.
Okay. Go ahead, Angel.
Talking about when you say us, I know what you mean by us, but I'm saying this: your organization also is paying the vet bills, and also paying to do the test on the one that deceased.
Yeah.
In Richmond Hill.
Yeah.
You guys paying all those bills. It's over 10 grand probably now, right?
It's probably 20 grand.
So you guys really need money.
Yeah.
Investigations like this, on a human being is almost 80, 100 grand.
Right.
On a homicide. Okay. So it's a lot of money. What you see now is a lot of money on the cats, but that's people, please give money to Puppy Kitty, NYC.org.
Yep.
Just go there and start giving money. She's doing a great job. She's helping animals more and beyond.
What about is there Megan? Is there a phone number? I mean, I know you don't want to be inundated with calls from
We do have we have a Google Voice number. I don't know it off the top of my head. But it is on the flyer, and I can send that to you guys when we get off the call if you'd like.
Yeah, because there may be people that feel more comfortable relaying information to you as opposed to NYPD.
Yeah.
So even though there's a reward, but it's probably a lot less intimidating.
Right.
For your organization than it is to call NYPD. So that phone number is important. So Angel, what will we do? We'll post that on the website, on your pet detective.
Definitely put it on the website. We'll put it in the comments. But do you have the flyer handy or?
Let's see if I can find it.
Oh, you're gone.
Okay, I'm here still.
Okay, all right. Well, while you are searching, Angel, you and I can talk briefly. Put on your detective hat. When cops go out and they investigate something like this, what's the first thing that they do?
Well, when they investigate, you see, back in the days, they had the SPCA. It wasn't cops. And then from there, later on, then they had an animal unit. That's when I'm retired already, and which I don't know what number it is because I tried my best to find a phone number. I don't even know how they operate. Like a task force.
They're hard to get it. They're hard to get in touch with.
That's what I'm saying. I was trying to get it, and they told me it's by precinct, and then I thought it was like a detective unit, like a homicide unit. It's all in one spot, and they go throughout the city. But I don't think this happening in this.
Well, they do have it. They have an animal abuse squad, right? I called that day, but no one picked up. But it was a Saturday. I think they're a unit that works like Monday through Friday. And then every precinct is supposed to have a ASPCA liaison. But the last couple precincts that I've been involved with, they're like, oh, all right, that person left. We didn't identify a new one yet because it's just not on the top of their to-do list.
Exactly.
You know?
That's the concern. So basically, it sounds like you guys are going to be carrying the ball.
Here.
You guys.
I'm like you now.
Okay. All right. Please help animal abuse. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We see. So the number is. Hold it right there, Angel, so everybody can see.
Right. It's not easy.
Okay. I know it's 929-324-0752. Again,
yep.
929-324-0792, and that's the number for.
It's 0752. And look, like I didn't pay my bill neither. It's 929-324-0752.
Okay.
Please help us find animal abusers.
Is that that's the organization? That's a national organization, or that's the organization for?
Whoop, she's gone again.
I'm here.
Okay, so that's Meagan's organization, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your organization. So and people, if they want to contribute money to the rescue or money to the investigation, they can call and find out the best way to donate also. And also that's not only the money, but if people have tips.
Yeah, if you have tips, I recommend that you call the number. If you want to donate, you could go to our website or you could go to our Instagram page, and most of our posts have all the different ways to donate. We have Venmo, PayPal, our website, www.puppykittynyc.org. You can text vet bills to 44321, and you can pay with Google or Apple Pay. And then you could actually donate directly on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, is that a 501c3? Is it tax deductible?
It is tax deductible.
That's even better. I mean,
yep.
People can contribute to a good cause and still get a tax benefit for that same good cause.
Right.
And that's very, very important. So, Angel, we are winding down towards the end of the show. Any last words?
I got a lot of words. Listen, man or female, I'm telling you right now, give yourself up. You're going to get caught. You need help. You have to go to the police, to the 102 or to the one in Howard Beach, and give yourself up. Because guess what? We are not going to give up. This is not going to stop here. You open up a can of worms, and we're gonna go for you. And I talk about all the rescuers and the NYPD. All right, people, if you have anything to say, call the number we just gave. Okay, call that number or call the 800 number tips. Okay, call those two numbers. But please, if it happens to animals, it's gonna happen to you. Okay, you become a victim. So to stop that, let's stop it now. Let's stop this animal abuse now. Okay, it's those two incidents is the worst incident you could think of. Killing all those cats. It's a massacre in Howard Beach. And the torture that happened to these cats in Richmond Hill. It could be an accident, but I don't really feel like it is. I'm sorry, but
It's not.
So it has to stop both ways. We have to stop it now. We need your help. Okay, you love animals. You're an animal lover. Give us a tip. And it's please spay and neuter your pets. And do you know where your pets are?
That's it, folks. You heard it. Good night, good morning from wherever you are in the world. Megan, thank you so much. And
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
And also, please stay in touch with updates because, we are very, very, very involved in this incident, and we want to know. We want to help you. We want to help the public, and we want to help those precious, precious animals that do not deserve to die like this. You heard it, folks.
If you need anything, Megan, if you need anything, you got my number.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'll give you all the consultation that you need, okay, and give you a lot of ideas that could ring the bell to your side since you're there on the front, front row. So
I appreciate that.
Okay, and with that, take us out, boss.
Ooh, where am I?
End recording.